I am Quinny. Welcome to the channel, guys. In this video today, it's LaLiga SmartBank time. I've went into the weeds and I've pulled out a squad of about 14 players or something like that, exclusively from LaLiga SmartBank, the Segunda Division, La Liga 2, whatever you want to think of it as. And in this video today, I'm just going to spill it out. My decision-making process, who I try to identify, what I try to prioritise. If any of these guys are appealing to you, then brilliant. Well, hopefully, it's the method to the madness you can maybe replicate and find some guys that I've not found at any point in the video today. If you laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff. Stay out of trouble, and let's get stuck into it. So at the moment, I've got a squad of 15 players. I've only got one goalkeeper. I'm open to getting another one, but I've not really got to that part yet. I wanted to get a goalkeeper I knew and liked already, and then kind of ran away and built the squad out from there. So the only goalkeeper that I kind of knew and liked already was Daniel Fusato. Okay, now I've been trying to get this guy really since I've been on the platform. He's been a backup goalkeeper at Roma, and you know, a Brazilian backup keeper at Roma, you know, it made me think about like about Alisson in a weird way. So I've always kind of followed him. He got a loan to Portugal last year. He got an injury. It never really worked out for him. He's been loaned to Ibiza, and he's the #1 keeper there. And that's kind of all this guy kind of needs so we can see what he's made of. So far, so good. Didn't cost too much either. And Ibiza, towards the bottom of the division, he should be a busy goalkeeper. I'm also kind of hoping that on top of the busy goalkeeper stuff, maybe he's got some passing game to him. Brazilian Roma identified goalkeeper. And yeah, let's just hope it does well, basically. The first defender I picked up, I think it was the first defender I picked up. The first one in this list is Boyomo. Okay, now Boyomo is a really interesting one, right? Because under 23 defender, which is always lovely, isn't it? And he started La Liga 2 life like pretty well overall. You know, these scores are definitely more positive than negative, I would say. What I've tried to do, as you'll see, with some of these teams like Albacete, you know, Ibiza earlier is probably the exception to this, but through the outfield, I've tried to target clubs that I know already have spent time in La Liga before, over the last like 10 years or so. Maybe just for a season, maybe some of these clubs have actually been in La Liga for quite a few years and haven't been in this level for terribly long. So I'm trying to target #1 clubs that I know have probably got an infrastructural advantage on the rest of the division in terms of connections, facilities, stadium, and prospects on future transfers as well as promotion or anything like that. So one of the clubs that led me to was Albacete, who have been in La Liga recently enough. And the thing about Boyomo that really struck me is he was giving me Moritz Jens vibes, because he came through the Blackburn Rovers Academy and has played like some Premier League 2 and under 20 and under 18s and stuff like that in England before moving out and finding himself now at Albacete. This will be his 3rd season at Albacete, and you know, like a 20-year-old starting centre-back that's in their 3rd season at their current club. I just thought that was a great prospect, and overall, like, I don't think it cost me much at all, probably a bit less than this, to be honest. But yeah, under 23 as well, which is always a nice little kind of asterisk to add on. Now, Riza Darmise has got like 39, 40 caps for Denmark, about 17 appearances in the Europa League, has got about 40 odd La Liga appearances, has played in a wee bit in France, played a little bit in Italy for Lazio, and now he finds himself at Leganes. So he's 28, he's no spring chicken, but he's definitely not past it. He cost me like £1 or something like that. And for a centre-back, you know, Leganes were in La Liga last year, and they're really not doing too great this year, it must be said. But for a guy like this who's very comfortably levels above, he's not really been playing too much, you know, since the, you know, as you can see here on his SO5 history, it's kind of spotty and all over the place. But this is a guy that, you know, I firmly expect, like we've seen here against Burgos at left back, it looks like. I reckon this is a guy that at the moment is going for £1, and, you know, compared to some of these other guys that are 15 and 20 quid, this guy could very easily join them. The next defender I picked up is Sorare. Now, Marcelo Sorare is a Uruguayan left back, is owned, I'm pretty sure he's still owned, by Red Bulls, and he's been loaned around Europe. He's had some injuries. It's not really worked out for him. And there's a couple of appearances he had at Red Bull. I was actually really impressed by him, and I'm really surprised at where he finds himself in his career. Again, it didn't cost me very much at all, because he's got plenty of cards from Galatasaray and Red Bull. He's only just got to Levante. He's only just starting to get on the pitch and start to influence the game. But I'm hoping that at Levante, like this guy should be levels above this. If he gets fit and if he gets into the starting 11, Levante will want promoted again, and Sriracha will be seen as one of those guys that should elevate them to the top of the division. Then again, for the sort of money he's knocking about at, I thought he was a great pickup for Specialist Limited. Now, with over 70 appearances in the Copa Libertadores, the South American Champions League, with a solid career, he's 33 in Liga MX with Santos Laguna, at Boca Juniors, at Lanús, all across South and Central America. He's been a #1 back. Sporting Gijon, again, have been no stranger to La Liga in recent years. And this guy's came in probably for a last kind of hurrah, an attempt to make it into Europe. And he's been killing it since showing up in La Liga 2. Like I said, over 70 appearances in the Copa Libertadores. If he's going to stay fit and available, this guy as centre-back is going to be amazing for Sporting Gijon this year. And again, the sort of money you're picking him up at, he's got a big age penalty on his price, but I don't really care. Now, when it came into midfield, I've always got a particular profile and a nice kind of style I'm trying to find. And Gregera here is a Spain under-21 international, also is Sporting Gijon. And he's slowly kind of breaking himself into the team. And he looks like an exciting prospect to be keeping my eye on. So as far as like Specialist Limited, which is the real purpose of this collection of players for me in particular, when the World Cup is on and such, this is a guy that will be hovering around the L15 under 40, you know, that can be a wee bit interesting and be a wee bit exciting with that international profile growing. Also at the age of 22, he's already looking at gunning down 100 appearances for Sporting Gijon. So again, like for the age, the caliber, the profile, the sort of money I was picking this guy up for, I thought he was a fantastic limited to add into the club. Staying with Sporting Gijon, the third player I picked up is Pedro Diaz. He's over 23. He's about 20 quid or so. But he has racked up over 120, 130 appearances in all competitions for Sporting Gijon. And between goals and assists, this guy generally averages close to 1 in 3. That's not really shown on this because of the way things are panning out across competitions and whatever. But Sporting Gijon feel like they're in a bit of an ascendancy at the moment. And this guy, if he gets a goal or an assist once every 3 games, again, this could be a midfielder that for like 20 quid or something, I think is a great addition to my squad. Now, Koba Lien, or Koba Coin Dreddy, depending on where you look, is on loan from Valencia. And this up-and-coming French centre midfielder looks to be somebody, again, that I think could be a great operator at Real Oviedo, who, again, are maybe a bit more traditionally closer to La Liga than Segunda Liga. He's only just came in. He's on loan. He has made like 10, 12 appearances for Valencia in La Liga when he was younger than what he is today. So when he was like 18, 19 years of age. So I can see him coming into Oviedo here, and like you can see in the few appearances he's been making, it seems to be he's settling in pretty well. And again, if I'm thinking about specialists, I need some guys that are going to be like good, you know, not L15 over 60 guys that could maybe push up into that, because if this is the AA game he's starting to clock out with already, 10 to 20 points a match, if he then starts to add into that, you know, the wee cheeky assist, the wee cheeky goal, the goal line clearance, whatever gets added onto his game, then in specialist, again, somebody that will end up back at Valencia after this, probably, maybe, who knows, is a great prospect to add into the club. Now, I had to show you this guy's profile first of all, right? He currently finds himself at Eibar, right? But started life off at Corinthians, has went around Europe, basically. Sporting Lisbon took him on, Juventus took him on, Barca took him on. He's had some loan spells to, you know, Empoli, Dijon, a few different places. He now finds himself at Eibar, I beg your pardon. And that is Mateus Pereira. Now, this 24-year-old midfielder, again, I picked up for buttons, has elite pedigree written all over him. Eibar are currently in the top half of the division, and this guy's been playing his part from centre defensive midfield. Only 1 decisive in that picture, and we've got 4 scores in the green, and he's only just getting started. As you can see, I had to show you this. His career has been so stop-start and sketchy, and moving over here and moving over there, transfer here, loan there. This guy needs a landing spot. This guy needs somewhere to settle. And already, it feels like Eibar, he is doing just that. Eibar could be one of the ones that get promoted. And this guy at 24, up-and-coming Brazilian midfielder, if he's a big part of that, then picking him up for like 7 quid or something, again, I was really excited to do that. Again, I'm looking for teams that have, you know, like La Liga-esque infrastructure, connections, and that sort of stuff. On loan from Atletico Madrid is Giuliano, son of Diego Simeone, and again, he's on loan from Atleti. He'll want to go back to Atleti and maybe make a push. And, you know, his AA game is shocking, it must be said. But, you know, if he's going to be a big target man, big Vlahovic type, and he can go and knock out some goals and stuff like that, then again, for specialists, he's going to be the main man at Zaragoza. It seems quite apparent he's starting all the games and stuff. Then again, the sort of fee I was picking him up for, it was a wee bit pricey compared to the rest of the players to this point in the video, but for a nominated striker, it's you do need to pay the premium. The next nominated, I think this guy's actually a midfielder, but he's an attacking type talent. Yeah, he's a midfielder. Alberto Moliero I picked up. Now, I wasn't even aware of this guy. I wasn't even going to look at Las Palmas because of how high they were in the table and I thought how inflated they would be. But I managed to pick up, again, think of this what you will, right? But I got the number 10. I got the jersey man, and I got it for one of the cheapest prices he's been auctioning for, which was lovely. And this guy is an attacking midfielder, winger type guy. He's got, you know, the thing I've seen, I think it was from all the FIFA 23 release stuff and whatever, but he's got the highest potential rating. Like he's in the top 5 in the game, top 10 in the game. And already his prices are climbing. The floor price on the limited is set pretty high. He's had a unique auction already, which is always a telltale sign that somebody that's so rare in the know knows that this is the unique to put out on day one. His rare's been going for a rare price as well. His scores aren't fantastic, but he's very young. He's approaching like 40 appearances already at the age of 18. And I'm really excited to see. This guy will probably be my L15 over 60 caliber guy that goes into this team. On loan from Girona, part of the City Football Group, we think he's on loan, is Suleiman Camara. And again, don't really know much about this guy, but he's just showed up in Ibiza. He's at Lineker's, him and Fuzato, and another guy that's in my team, Nolito. They're at the bar at the weekend having a great time, and he's starting to get some action, man. So, again, this could be a wee player that if I know he's getting in the team or something like that, I could plug in. It was quite cheap as well. As a Girona player, maybe goes back to Girona. Ow. Next year. So again, a profile, even though it's at one of the smaller clubs, a profile of a player, I'm happy to just go and spend 15 quid on. Now, Matias Arezzo was the only name that I knew I wanted to buy as soon as this came on. He hasn't really popped yet for Granada. He's starting to get fitness and start to get back into the team, but this guy scored like 38 goals in 86 games or something like that in the Uruguayan division. La Liga 2 should be a good division for him to cut his teeth in, and this is more of a prospect, but I'm really just hoping and waiting for the goals to come, the appearances to come for this kid, because I do believe that he can do it based on his profile. He was very close to signing for Atletico Madrid, but it didn't quite happen in the end, and he finds himself at Granada, who then got relegated. So I think this guy's a huge prospect, a huge talent, and I'm happy to throw him in, and we'll see what comes of him. I actually had a few legacy players in the club already that were LaLiga SmartBank. One of them is a rookie card, Nico Serrano, who's on loan from Atletico Bilbao to Mirandes. And he's been playing left wing a bit, you know, in and out of the team. I'm not too buzzing about it, but it's a rookie card that I picked up anyway. So that's always cool. And then another card that I picked up anyway is Man City. I don't know if we want to call him a legend or whatever, but he's won the league and stuff, and he was a big part of the team for a few years. Now at Ibiza at the age of 35 after this period at Celta Vigo is Nolito. Now Nolito, I don't expect him to play much, but I've got him and I can use him. So that is my 15 cards, my La Liga SmartBank Specialist Limited contingent that I'm going to be flexing and stretching all the way through the World Cup international period. Let me know. I know there's some guys I've missed out that are big hitters, but what I tried to do with this strategy, like I've said a few times, is look for guys that have a profile, look for clubs, look for guys in clubs that have good infrastructure, good connections, decent prospects, because the interesting thing to note at this stage of La Liga SmartBank is there is only 7 games. There's lots of games in this division, and as you know, these second divisions, no matter what country you're in, you'll always hear the story about the surprise team that gets promoted, the surprise team that gets relegated. These type of things happen in these divisions, and I don't know anything about it, and without me going right into the deep end and the depths and getting right into newspapers and blogs and all that kind of stuff, it's hard to know the exact gems to find. So what I'm looking for is safe Quinny opportunities, things that I look at and think, yeah, I can get that guy, that makes sense to me, and let's have some fun with it and we can roll with it. So I've tried to stick with clubs that are closer to La Liga than to Segunda Liga, and players like we've went through today that have pedigree, that have something going on in their makeup, in their background. I hope you've enjoyed this. I look forward to reading your suggestions in the comment section down below. Do not forget to like, subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.